best.
People just stare at me funny, like, what the f does she do for a living? So I just want to put it out there, I wanted to buy more things in the Chanel boutique, but she just genuinely made me feel so insecure for being young and not in school and shopping. I'm a rich bitch, I'm the upper class.
George Soros. Like Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, and the Rockefellers, he amassed billions through ruthless business decisions.
I am basically there to make money. I cannot and do not look at the social consequences of what I do.
What happened? My diamond earring fell out. I had my diamond earrings and one of them came out.
Oh my god. All right, so take this one out. Show me where. Just show me.
In the ocean. I'm not gonna find a. What's wrong with you guys? My diamond earring came off in the ocean and it's gone. And there's people that are dying.
I just told you
anyone would be annoyed. I work really hard and I know you do.
So the bougie, you know, aesthetic and lifestyle is problematic for multiple reasons. Whether that is, you know, capitalism, because capitalism puts profits over human lives, or the glamorization of, you know, calling people poor and buying mansions while homeless people live on the street. Or if not that, then, you know, using, you know, sweatshop labor to have designer expensive items. Or if not that, contributing to animal cruelty, whether that is real fur coats, you know, or mink eyelashes, etc., you know. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel here. It's Lavender here, and today I wanted to do a video called The Problematic Aesthetic and Lifestyle Culture That Is the Boujee Aesthetic and Lifestyle Culture Boujee. A deep dive into this. Because this is a anti-capitalism channel, and, you know, I love, like, anti-capitalism, I decided to do a video on this because I really feel like it's a problem, you know, and I really want to talk about why this aesthetic is so problematic. So let's get started into this video. So yeah. So, for those who don't know, I'm gonna, you know, give a definition of what, you know, the bougie aesthetic and lifestyle culture that is bougie. So here we go. So, bougie fashion and the aesthetic and the lifestyle culture overall is a very extravagant, over-the-top, and grotesquely capitalist pig gluttony overflows, you know, very flashy with huge name brands being very popular, such as Gucci, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Dior, etc. Boujee, a shortened term for bourgeoisie, which means upper class, is a critical term used to describe people, things, and places that are, you know, upper class and wealthy. This term may be used with both positive and negative connotations. It can be a goal for many, but yet offensive to, you know, the 99%. As people who are overwhelmingly wealthy are often blind to the struggles of those without such wealth and opportunity. The history of the term bourgeoisie references the middle class and upper class own the majority of the money in society rather than the working class or the proletariat. Hence, the aesthetic is most often associated with celebrities and the rich, you know, whether that be business owners or singers, etc., or kings and queens, etc. Bougie people are often concerned with wealth, money, status, and its luxury. They'll often show off or flex on the internet, you know, the things they bought and their wealth through social media, whether that's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, etc. You know, they'll chase clout, you know, whether this includes expensive spa trips, high-end self-care and cosmetics, going and buying luxury designer brands, you know, from the mall, etc. And this aesthetic, you know, however, they could be easily turned into narcissism because the bougie aesthetic is full of narcissists, which is one of the problems of this aesthetic, but we're going to get into that later, so yeah. So what this aesthetic consists of, again, is, you know, bougie visuals, and, you know, the lifestyle of bougie tends to, again, be, you know, very flashy, over the top, very, like, capitalist pig gluttony, like, too much, like, of, like, you know, expensive things, you know, just very, like, in, like, a really horrible, like, you know, like, show-off type of way. This includes, you know, luxury items, whether they're handbags, fashion, shoes, cars, houses, mansions, jewelry, etc. Items of this bougie lifestyle, culture, and aesthetic can include designer clothes, tons of expensive jewelry, whether that is, gold, silver, diamonds, etc., expensive handbags / purses, expensive backpacks, gold, diamond watches, glam makeup, overdone makeup, mansion houses with like a bunch of rooms, lots of money, being flashed, or expensive items, in an aesthetic board, whether that is just money or something that's really, really expensive to buy, expensive luxury cars, luxury vacations, and luxury self-care in any way. And so, yeah. So now I want to talk about why this, aesthetic and this, bougie lifestyle culture is so, toxic and problematic. So there's a couple reasons why, okay? So one of the main reasons why is because it is a narcissistic, culture. People flashing items online and flexing items online. It draws narcissists because people want, to glamorize this lifestyle because, it just attracts a bunch of narcissists. I mean, go on Instagram, YouTube, etc. People are bragging, about how much money they have and how awesome their lifestyle is, and anyone who doesn't really have that lifestyle at all, they'll call them broke or whatever. And I don't hang out with people like you. It's like the Regina George. You can't sit with us because you don't make a lot of money. You're not bougie. You're broke. You can't sit with us vibes. It's just a very, grotesque lifestyle because this lifestyle really pertains to people who are the 1%, the bourgeoisie, as that was stated, again, and it doesn't, include the 99%. So people think that this, bougie, is, off-putting, which it is, because, it's literally rich people bragging, about exploitation, of, workers, because the bougie aesthetic is the rich, and there is, again, no such thing as a self-made millionaire. There is no such thing as a self-made billionaire. So, yeah, people find it off-putting, and, reasonably so, that, narcissists, bragging about, my mom's a millionaire, look at all the hard work that she did, you guys are lazy, you guys are broke and stuff. And it's funny because, the bougie aesthetic, it, glamorizes rich people exploiting the poor and the working class and using, the money and the fruits of their labors, for their selfish, bougie aesthetic or whatever. Because, again, the biggest theft in the world is wage theft, and that money, is used, for a bougie aesthetic. You can't, they're ripping off the working class and the poor and taking advantage of their fruits of their labors and their hard work to live this, bougie lifestyle. Again, this bougie aesthetic and lifestyle culture, is problematic, again, because, again, under capitalism, profits are put over human lives. And a big example of this, if you want to know what I'm talking about, is the Rana Plaza 2013 Decana Garment Factory collapse. So this building housed a number of separate garment factories employing around 5,000 people, several shops, and a bank within the factory. The factories manufactured apparel like fast fashion brands such as Prada, Gucci, Versace, The Children's Place, and Walmart are just some of the examples of where this factory, was operating for. Just the decision by capitalist pigs to send wage slave workers who don't make that much money anyways back into the factories, they knowingly did that, knowing the conditions of the factories and the building and how much horrible shape it was in. And it was mainly due to the pressure to complete orders on time, because this is a fast fashion. Fast fashion is really bad. Putting lives at risk just for profits is very common of capitalism and the capitalist pigs and Porky. Because capitalism puts profits over human lives. That's what capitalism does. That's why we need to start talking about, the victims of capitalism more, as in true crime. When the building collapsed, here are the after effects on some of the victims that I looked up of this preventable accident. There was a 32-year-old victim who walks around with a crutch and suffers from terrible headaches. And this guy, it was just so sad, poor guy. And there was another victim, a 26-year-old woman, who now lives in her bed. She doesn't really get out of bed. She really spends her days now watching television and TV and sleeping thanks to the sleeping pills and pain medication that she is dependent on for her pain. She cannot read, she can no longer have children, and she can barely move, as her spinal cord was crushed and her pelvis in this accident. On August 30th, 100 days after the collapse of Rana Plaza, injured workers and family members of those who died there, along with workers' rights activists, inaugurated a memorial for the tragedy. A crude statue of two fists thrusting towards the sky, grasps a hammer and sickle, which is the communism symbol that happened in, I think, Bangladesh, is one of the best examples of this. You know, is that it glamorizes capitalist gluttony, and people, like, for example, like, people in, like, you know, like, garment factories in third world countries, like, make clothes and designer items for designer brands and stuff, and they don't make that much money. They can make, like, $5 a day or something like that. They don't make that much, like, a day. And, like people who buy, like, expensive designer clothes, expensive jewelry, you know, like, designer clothes and bags are made in, like, sweatshops where people don't make that much money, like, $5 a day or whatever, you know, and jewelry-wise, diamonds, you know, most, you know, gold, silver, and diamonds when it comes to any type of jewelry. Like, for example, the Queen of England, right, her family looted Africa of its resources, and she owns, like, a gold carriage and a, like, gold crown or whatever, but all that, you know, all that, like, wealth, like the diamonds, you know, gold and the silver and, like, all the resources that they have, you know, the royal family has, is all, you know, looted from Africa, you know, by colonizers. That's why this aesthetic is also really problematic, because, you know, it just glorifies, like, looting countries and third world countries and things like that, and sweatshop labor. Also, mansion homes are very problematic because there's people who, you know, in the United States, they're capitalist pigs, and they own like 5 houses or 2 mansions or whatever. When there is enough vacant houses in the United States alone to, you know, house every homeless person that's on the street, but yet there are homeless people. That's what's wrong with capitalism. This is why this aesthetic is so disgusting. People are out here bragging about, oh, I own 2 mansions with like 10 bedrooms or 5 bedrooms and like a bowling alley and a swimming pool and like a spa room and a sauna and a hot tub and all this, when there's homeless people that don't even have a home. I just think that that's really disgusting. That's why this is problematic. Also, I wanted to add into this how bougie aesthetic and the bougie lifestyle, you know, harms, you know, people. I got this article. I'm going to link the article in the description for credit and a source. But, you know, for example, like bougie vacations and tourist destinations actually really hurt, you know, people of color, whether those are natives or, you know, any other people of color. For example, I'm going to get this thing from this article. It says, you know, to most Americans, Hawaii is theirs to use, take, and above all to fantasize about long after the experience. You know, and it says, people think that Hawaiian as an image of escape from the rawness and violence of daily American life. You know, but to most Hawaiians, especially Native Hawaiians, daily life is neither soft nor kind. In fact, the political, economical, and cultural reality of most Hawaiians is hard, ugly, and cruel. In Hawaii, the destruction of our land and the prostitution of our culture is planned and executed by multinational corporations, which is by the bourgeoisie, the rich, by huge landowners, and by the collaborationist state and country governments. You know, and as a result of Hawaiian culture is manufactured by ad agencies, tour companies, and the state of Hawaii, in which allocates some of $60 million a year to the tourism advertising budget. Because, like glorifying, like, overly large homes for one person, You know, there's like, you know, people who need homes. It's just gross, honestly. And yeah, so that's the reasons, in my opinion, that this aesthetic is very problematic. I wanted to talk about this because I think it's really important that, you know, this whole bougie or capitalist gluttony that you see where people are flexing expensive designer items and this bougie aesthetic, I just think it's wrong, and it's actually disgustingly gross and grotesque. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye guys, thanks for the video.